Have you ever felt like you were standing on the edge of something extraordinary, but couldn't quite access it? Do you find yourself wondering if there is a hidden force guiding you towards success, peace, and prosperity, but somehow you're still not in tune with it? What if I told you that the key to aligning with the universe, manifesting your deepest desires, and achieving your highest potential was within your grasp, yet you were just one step away from unlocking it? This is not a mystical or elusive promise. It's a real scientific phenomenon, backed by quantum principles and backed by great thinkers like Joe Dispenza, Napoleon Hill, and Carl Jung. The connection between you and the universe is not something that happens by chance. It's something you can actively cultivate and align with. By understanding the principles behind quantum connection, you begin to see how your internal energy influences the outer world and how you can use this awareness to manifest not just prosperity and success, but also inner peace and balance. When we speak of quantum connection, we're referring to more than just a concept. It's about understanding how your energy field, your thoughts, and your emotions align with the vibrational frequencies of the universe. This alignment allows you to tap into a greater flow of abundance, creativity, and spiritual insight. But getting there isn't as simple as wishing for it to happen. It requires understanding your mind's role, your heart's intention, and your body's energy. And that is precisely what we will explore here. Are you ready to start aligning with the universe and unlocking your potential? Let's dive into how understanding quantum connection can transform everything in your life. The quantum field and the creation of personal reality. At the heart of quantum connection lies a profound understanding of the quantum field and its role in shaping our reality. The quantum field, often referred to as the fabric of the universe, is not just a scientific concept. It's the very foundation that links all things together. Every thought, every emotion, every action you take sends ripples through this field, affecting not only your immediate environment, but the very course of your life. This is the fundamental truth. Your internal world creates your external world. Quantum physics, as Joe Dispenza frequently explains, reveals that we are not merely passive observers of our reality, but active participants in the creation of it. We are constantly influencing the quantum field through our thoughts and emotions. When you are conscious of your ability to shape this field, you begin to understand how the energy you emit directly influences the outcomes in your life. This is the secret behind manifestation. Everything is energy and everything is connected. The field of energy, however, is not just a vague, abstract idea. It is measurable, scientifically proven, and profoundly real. The more you tune into this energy, the more you align with the universal forces that govern the flow of abundance, success, and prosperity. According to Napoleon Hill, your thoughts are like seeds planted in the fertile ground of the universe. These seeds grow based on the energy you put into them. If your thoughts are filled with doubt and fear, they create a reality of struggle. But when your thoughts are positive, focused, and aligned with your desires, they manifest in ways that align with the universe's natural rhythms. The process of aligning with the quantum field is about tapping into your inner power and recognizing that you are not a victim of your circumstances, but a powerful co-creator of your destiny. Carl Jung's exploration of the unconscious mind reveals that much of this creation happens beneath the surface. Our thoughts, beliefs, and patterns of behavior are often unconscious. The key to transformation lies in becoming aware of these underlying forces and consciously choosing to realign them. One of the most significant aspects of this process is understanding the importance of coherence. The quantum field responds to the coherence between your mind and emotions. When your thoughts are in alignment with your feelings, your energy becomes powerful, coherent, and magnetic. This alignment is the key to unlocking the potential of manifestation. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. Your emotions must also vibrate at the same frequency as your desires. Take a moment to reflect on this. When you are in a state of high emotion, such as joy or love, notice how everything in your life seems to flow effortlessly. Opportunities arise, people connect with you, and things just seem to fall into place. This is because your emotional state is a direct reflection of your internal alignment with the quantum field. When you are aligned, the universe mirrors that energy back to you in the form of synchronicities and manifestations. However, maintaining this alignment is a challenge. The world around us is filled with distractions, negative influences, and subconscious programming, that constantly try to pull us out of alignment. This is why many people struggle with manifestation. They may have a clear desire, but their emotions, fears, and limiting beliefs are misaligned with that desire. To truly align with the quantum field, it is essential to identify and release these blockages. This can be done through techniques such as meditation, visualization, and emotional healing. The truth is, the universe is constantly sending us signals, whispers of guidance that can help us align with the right path. But to hear these signals, we must quiet the noise within. This is where practices like meditation and mindfulness come in. They help you tune into the frequency of the universe, allowing you to hear the subtle messages that guide you. These practices help you shift your energy from a state of resistance to a state of flow, which is essential for manifestation. In this chapter, we've explored how the quantum field plays a pivotal role in shaping your personal reality. The energy you emit through your thoughts, feelings, and actions directly influences the outcomes in your life. Understanding this dynamic allows you to take control of your future by aligning your internal energy with the abundant forces of the universe. As you continue on this journey, remember that the power to manifest is not just in your mind. It's in your ability to align your energy with the universe, creating a harmonious flow that brings prosperity, peace, and fulfillment into your life. Releasing subconscious barriers and reprogramming inner frequency. Beneath every intention to prosper, to heal, or to succeed, there is an invisible architecture quietly shaping outcomes. Many people attempt to align with the universe while carrying deeply rooted subconscious patterns that contradict their conscious desires. On the surface, there is a longing for abundance and peace. Beneath the surface, there may be unresolved grief, inherited beliefs about scarcity, or a silent conviction of unworthiness. This inner contradiction creates energetic dissonance, and dissonance disrupts manifestation. The subconscious mind does not respond to what is verbally declared. It responds to what is emotionally rehearsed. Joe Dispenza often explains that the body becomes conditioned to familiar emotional states, even when those states are stressful or limiting. So over time, the body memorizes disappointment, anxiety, or self-doubt, and these emotions become part of one's identity. When someone attempts to create a new future while emotionally anchored to the past, the body unconsciously pulls them back to what feels familiar. The result is frustration, not because the universe is silent, but because the internal signal remains inconsistent. This is where many individuals experience discouragement in their spiritual journey. They meditate, visualize, and repeat affirmations, yet their lived reality does not change. The deeper layer often reveals that the subconscious still holds a narrative shaped by childhood experiences, cultural conditioning, or past failures. Bruce Lipton's work in epigenetics suggests that beliefs are not abstract ideas. They influence biology, perception, and behavior. A belief rooted in scarcity can subtly alter decision-making, posture, tone of voice, and even opportunity recognition. The quantum field responds not to words, but to coherence between thought and embodied belief. Subconscious barriers frequently form around moments of emotional intensity. A rejection, a financial loss, a betrayal, or a prolonged period of struggle can crystallize into a belief such as success is unsafe or I am not supported. These beliefs are rarely spoken aloud, yet they operate like silent programs running in the background. Carl Jung described the shadow as the part of the psyche that contains what has been denied or repressed. When this shadow remains unacknowledged, it influences choices indirectly, often sabotaging progress just as momentum begins to build. Reprogramming inner frequency does not begin with force or denial. It begins with awareness. When an individual gently observes recurring emotional patterns without judgment, something subtle shifts. The act of witnessing interrupts automatic repetition. Neuroplasticity research shows that the brain reorganizes itself through repeated new experiences. When a person consciously cultivates emotions such as gratitude, safety, or quiet confidence and sustains them long enough, the nervous system begins to encode these states as familiar. The body, which once memorized stress, gradually learns coherence. This shift is not dramatic in appearance. It often feels like a gradual softening. A person who once reacted with tension may notice a slight pause before responding. Someone who once avoided opportunities may sense a new openness. These small internal adjustments signal that the subconscious narrative is evolving. As coherence strengthens, the external environment begins to reflect the change. Conversations become more aligned. Decisions feel less forced. Synchronicities emerge not as miracles, but as natural extensions of internal harmony. There is also a profound relationship between forgiveness and energetic liberation. Holding on to resentment anchors the nervous system to past experiences. The quantum field does not distinguish between past and present emotional states. It responds to the frequency being emitted now. When forgiveness occurs, whether directed toward oneself or another, the emotional charge dissipates. The body exits survival mode. In this calmer state, creativity and intuition become accessible again. The journey of reprogramming subconscious barriers is not about rejecting the past, but integrating it. When old wounds are acknowledged rather than suppressed, they lose their unconscious control. The inner frequency stabilizes. What once felt like resistance transforms into quiet strength. In that state of coherence, manifestation ceases to feel like a struggle against invisible forces. It becomes a reflection of alignment. As this alignment deepens, the connection with the universe grows clearer. The individual no longer seeks external confirmation as proof of worthiness. Instead, there is an inner certainty that prosperity, peace, and success are natural expressions of a harmonized frequency. The transformation begins within, and the outer world gradually follows. Emotional coherence and the alignment with universal flow. There is a subtle difference between wanting a new life and becoming internally compatible with it. Many people long for peace, prosperity, and meaningful success, yet their nervous system remains calibrated to tension, urgency, and quiet fear. This internal mismatch creates a silent resistance. The universe does not respond to verbal desire alone. It reflects the emotional signature consistently broadcast beneath conscious awareness. Emotional coherence is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Emotional coherence occurs when thoughts, feelings, and physiological states move in harmony. Joe Dispenza often describes this as heart-brain alignment, a measurable synchronization between emotional stability and mental clarity. When the mind envisions possibility while the body feels anxiety, there is fragmentation. When both share the same elevated state, calm confidence, gratitude, genuine anticipation, the signal becomes powerful and organized. The quantum field, sensitive to patterns of energy, responds more readily to coherence than to scattered intention. Many individuals unknowingly live in a state of chronic emotional contraction. Years of pressure, unresolved grief, financial stress, or relational disappointment train the body to expect struggle. Over time, vigilance becomes the baseline. Even in moments of opportunity, the body prepares for loss. This creates a pattern where abundance feels foreign and peace feels temporary. The field mirrors this instability by producing inconsistent outcomes, reinforcing the belief that life is unpredictable or unfair. Napoleon Hill wrote about the power of sustained emotional states in shaping destiny. He emphasized that faith is not blind optimism, but a repeated emotional conviction held long enough to influence behavior and circumstance. When someone consistently inhabits a state of internal certainty, their actions subtly shift, tone of voice changes, posture becomes more grounded, decision-making grows clearer. These behavioral nuances communicate alignment to the external world, attracting responses that match the internal tone. Emotional coherence also dissolves the need to control every detail. When the internal environment feels stable, urgency decreases. There is less grasping, less forcing. Instead of pushing reality to conform, the individual moves with greater sensitivity to timing and intuition. This is often described as flowing with the universe, yet it is not passive surrender. It is an active state of inner balance that allows inspired action to emerge naturally. One of the silent disruptors of coherence is unprocessed emotion. Suppressed anger, unspoken disappointment, or hidden shame create energetic turbulence. Even when someone attempts to visualize success, these undercurrents interfere with the signal. Carl Jung spoke of individuation as the integration of fragmented aspects of the psyche. When denied emotions are acknowledged and integrated, they lose their disruptive charge. The emotional field stabilizes. From that stability, clarity arises. There is also a biological dimension to coherence. The autonomic nervous system shifts between survival mode and restorative balance. In survival mode, perception narrows, creativity diminishes, the body prioritizes protection over expansion. In a balanced state, cognitive flexibility increases. The prefrontal cortex engages more fully, allowing strategic thinking and long-term vision. What appears to be spiritual alignment is deeply connected to physiological regulation. When the body feels safe, the mind can imagine freely, and the emotional field becomes receptive rather than defensive. As coherence strengthens, synchronicities begin to appear less accidental and more relational. A conversation aligns at the right moment. An opportunity emerges that resonates with long-held intention. These experiences are not random rewards, they are reflections of internal organization. The universe mirrors stability with stability, clarity with clarity. Living in emotional coherence does not eliminate challenges. Difficult moments still arise, losses still occur, and uncertainty remains part of the human condition. The difference lies in response. Instead of collapsing into fear, the individual maintains a grounded center. Instead of reacting impulsively, there is thoughtful engagement. This steadiness communicates trust, not naive expectation, but a deep recognition that life responds to alignment. In this state, peace is no longer something pursued. It becomes the foundation from which prosperity and success unfold. The quantum connection strengthens not through force, but through harmony. When thoughts, emotions, and physiology resonate together, the individual becomes a coherent signal within the universal field, and reality gradually reorganizes around that resonance. Integrating action and surrender. Within the quantum connection, there is a delicate balance between effort and surrender that defines the maturity of one's quantum connection. Some people exhaust themselves trying to force outcomes, believing that constant pressure will bend reality in their favor. Others retreat into passivity, assuming that if the universe intends something for them, it will arrive without participation. Both extremes generate imbalance. True alignment lives in the space where inspired action and inner trust coexist. Action, when disconnected from alignment, often feels frantic. It is driven by comparison, fear of falling behind, or a subtle belief that worth must be proven. In this state, even success carries tension. The nervous system remains vigilant, anticipating the next obstacle. The quantum field mirrors this urgency with instability. Opportunities appear, but dissolve quickly. Progress happens, yet fulfillment remains distant. The external motion hides internal disconnection. On the other hand, surrender misunderstood can become avoidance. When surrender is rooted in resignation rather than trust, it drains vitality. There is a quiet withdrawal from responsibility, masked as spiritual patience. This state also disrupts alignment because the universe responds to participation. Co-creation requires engagement. It asks for movement guided by intuition rather than fear. Joe Dispenza often speaks about becoming greater than the environment. This does not imply ignoring reality, but transcending emotional reactivity to it. When an individual acts from elevated emotion, confidence, gratitude, clarity, action becomes coherent. It is no longer a desperate attempt to change circumstances. It is an expression of an internal shift already achieved. In this way, behavior aligns with identity, and identity aligns with intention. Napoleon Hill described the concept of definiteness of purpose, emphasizing that clear intention, combined with sustained belief, shapes outcomes over time. This belief is not rigid insistence. It is a calm conviction that guides consistent effort. When purpose is clear, action becomes deliberate rather than scattered. Energy is not wasted on pursuits that conflict with core values. The universe responds more fluidly to focused signals than to fragmented ambition. There is also a subtle intelligence in timing. Nature offers countless examples of rhythmic unfolding. Seeds germinate beneath the soil long before visible growth appears. Rivers carve landscapes gradually, not through sudden force but through steady movement. When someone aligns internally yet remains attentive to timing, action becomes strategic. There is sensitivity to opportunity rather than impulsive grasping. This sensitivity reflects deep connection rather than blind optimism. Surrender, in its mature form, is trust in the unfolding of processes already set in motion. It is the quiet understanding that not every result must appear immediately. Emotional regulation supports this trust. When the nervous system is stable, patience feels natural. When it is dysregulated, delay feels threatening. The ability to wait without collapsing into doubt reflects internal coherence. Carl Jung's exploration of individuation suggests that growth requires conscious participation in one's own development. Ignoring personal responsibility creates stagnation. Over-identifying with control creates rigidity. The integration of action and surrender mirrors psychological wholeness. The individual acknowledges agency while respecting forces beyond immediate control. In daily life, this integration appears in subtle ways. A person prepares thoroughly for an opportunity, yet releases attachment to a specific outcome. Someone pursues financial growth with discipline, yet does not measure worth solely through numbers. A relationship is nurtured with care, yet not suffocated by fear of loss. These expressions reveal balance. The internal message becomes clear. Effort is offered, but identity does not depend on results. When this balance stabilizes, manifestation feels less dramatic and more organic. Progress unfolds in layers. There may be moments of acceleration followed by quiet integration. Instead of interpreting pauses as failure, they are recognized as part of rhythm. The universe does not operate in straight lines. It moves in cycles. The integration of action and surrender strengthens the quantum connection because it eliminates internal contradiction. The signal sent to the field becomes consistent. Intention is clear, emotion is stable, behavior is aligned. In that consistency, peace deepens. Prosperity becomes sustainable rather than fleeting. Success feels meaningful rather than hollow. Realization emerges not as a sudden miracle, but as the natural consequence of harmony between effort and trust. There comes a moment in life when the search outside grows quiet and the attention turns inward, not as an escape, but as a recognition. The quantum connection that transforms everything has never been distant. It has always been responding to the quality of your thoughts, the depth of your emotions, and the coherence of your actions. Peace was not withheld from you. Prosperity was not reserved for someone else. Success was not hidden behind an invisible wall. What shifts is alignment. Throughout this journey, one truth becomes clear. The universe mirrors internal organization. When subconscious barriers soften, when emotional coherence stabilizes, and when action flows with trust rather than fear, reality begins to rearrange itself. Not instantly, not magically, but faithfully. The field responds to consistency. It reflects the identity you embody, not the identity you occasionally imagine. This connection is not about controlling outcomes. It is about becoming internally compatible with the life you seek. When your nervous system feels safe, your heart remains open, and your mind holds a steady vision, the signal you send into the quantum field becomes unmistakable. From that clarity, opportunities align, relationships deepen, and purpose sharpens. The transformation was never about forcing the universe to respond. It was about becoming someone whose energy is already in harmony with what they desire. In that harmony, peace becomes the foundation, prosperity becomes sustainable, and realization becomes inevitable. Now pause for a moment and reflect. If your outer world is a mirror of your inner state, what is your current energy truly communicating to the universe? If this message resonated with you, subscribe to this channel and become part of a community committed to conscious transformation, alignment, and real inner growth. Your journey does not end here. Continue watching the next video on your screen, where we go even deeper into practical alignment and the subtle shifts that unlock lasting abundance. Stay present, stay aware, and keep expanding.